I'll be coming back soon. I'll spend a longer time when I come. I'll spend like 1 week. Don't worry, I'll come through. How are you?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so honored. Thank you so much. Thank you. Everywhere. People are so happy.
Thank
Anyway, of course, definitely, it's entertaining and LOLs, lessons of life, I would say. Now, the CTC you've not seen and jumped to conclusion that you're supposed to resume plenary session tomorrow.
Why don't we pass on that? As a matter of fact, we expect to have the CTC today, but that also will determine our next step in action. The statement I made that day of me resuming on Tuesday was right immediately after the pronouncement of the court that my suspension was unconstitutional and excessive, and that the people should not be deprived representation, that even though the Senate has the powers to punish members, but they should not punish the constituents alongside. So based on that, when my people came home to my house in Abuja right from the courts, I did mention that, okay, with this victory, we look forward to going to work on Tuesday. But that being said, like I said, we anticipate the judgment, the written judgment, the certified trade copy, and that will determine the next step. But I'm very positive. But again, like I said, irrespective of me being under suspension, it never hindered me from working. I worked every day. I followed up on a lot of projects every day. Still spoke to ministers. I still followed up with agencies on many projects, so my people will not lose out of the 2025 project, and that's what you've been saying. Just last week, this school we went to, the Nigerian College, we lit the entire premises with the solar street lights. Yesterday, you saw us have the groundbreaking ceremony for 2 smart markets in 2 local governments, 80 shops in each, with abattoir and other interesting facilities that ordinary markets should have, like water, toilets, electricity, and plugs in each shops. Again, the bigger part of today was when we visited the same school at Natasha Akpoti College, a public secondary school, one of the first in the country, to distribute 700 laptops and 700 computers to each child, and that's a big milestone in digitalizing learning. So I'm so proud that my office, the Office of the Senator of Kogi Central, was able to deploy energy, network, I would say, and goodwill to bring this to our people. So at the end of the day, I don't think my people have lost anything, even though I know that I do have a number of bills, I do have a number of motions that I cannot pass on the outside. I need to be in there to work and proceed on my numerous bills and motions. But as much as representing the people's concerns in budgetary matters, I think I'm doing quite well.
I'll come back to that budgetary matters and the bill, of course. The final question, do you still, with that judgment, did you still have confidence in Nigerian judiciary?
Of course I do have. And the judiciary, like every other institution, is not perfect. It's not, we can't even say we're among the top most perfect in the world. But there is a huge room for development, improvement. But so far, even for me to be a senator today, is still out of the goodwill of the judiciary. You know, I went through courts, the tribunal and all that to emerge 6 months after my colleagues had resumed. So with the recent judgments, mind you, we had 2 other judgments, 2 other cases of the federal government against me, which a number of people anticipated I'll be, locked up. at the Suleja prisons, but unfortunately, one of it had me granted bail of 50 million and a surety, and the other granted me bail on self-recognition because I've never been charged with any criminal offense in the past. No, and the matter isn't one of embezzlement or of one of murder or drugs, any of these heinous offenses, So I've been a good citizen with good character, and I trust that in the future considerations of the many sessions we'll have in the courts, this will be borne in the minds of the judges. I do have hope that our judiciary is being fair to a large extent now, but again, like I said, there's room for improvement.
Okay, finally, my final question is, do you think your pending bills in the Senate will be approved before? Because you have less than 2 years
to be there. You see, the bills are personal, they are sponsored by me. Like especially the gold reserve bill, which is so critical. The gold reserve bill is so critical because that bill alone can transform our nation's economy. We keep losing so much revenue and so many jobs when we do not have accountability from data to the seismic report and what we're able to extract for the benefit of our country and people. We lose so much revenue from gold and many other industries. And I was hoping that by now I would have finished up with the gold bill and moved on to others, like putting legislations for lithium, rare earth minerals, and many other minerals that Nigeria has in abundant quantity, but we do not generate revenue from. So, but these bills are bills that are personal to me, and I can't just transfer them to someone else to do. Probably other senators have their own bills that are of concern to themselves and their constituents. So, but whatever happens, still very hopeful that I will resume to complete and continue my legislative duties, because you see, in as much as I am the senator from Kogi Central, I am the senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which means my constituency as well is the entire nation, especially with regards to the bills, like the gold bill. It's not going to be of benefit to Kogi Central alone, even though we have a lot of gold reserves in Kogi Central, but the entire nation will benefit. So the National Assembly should know that by denying me stay in the chambers and participation in the chambers is denying not just Kogi Central indigenes, but Nigerian women, of which we have only right now 3 female senators out of 108. So we are denying Nigerian women, we're denying Nigerian children, because every woman, every female senator by default advocates for children. Do you understand? And again, and by large, the many Nigerians whose ideals resonates with me and whose concerns I'm able to project through my bills and motions.
Do you still believe in the leadership of the Senate under Akpabio? Will you still believe in that?
Can we pass on that?
Sorry, I'm using it for a program tonight, so I just
Can we pass on that? Let me just say this. Let me just say this.
She knows what to say.
I believe, like this, I'm a first-time senator, right? But the feelers I have gotten from legislators who have been in the National Assembly, in the assemblies before this, they have credited better times in the past. So I would say that, again, there's room for growth and there's room for respect. When I say respect, on all fronts of the rules of the Senate, of respect for colleagues, and justice generally. So I think if that is deployed, then we could have a healthier and safer space for every senator to operate and function in. Let me say, there's room for progress, there's room for improvement.
We should actually proceed to adjourn. But just before we do that, the new chairman of the committee, Senator Nett, we are mentioning the new chairman of the committee on leader of the Senate. Is this NDDC or something? No, it's not. I think the new chairman of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and NGOs is the Distinguished Senator Anyekan Bassi, and it will take effect from today. So we will make some changes to our vice chairmanship positions next week.
After carefully following Senator Natasha, one will be left with no option than to admire her guts, than to emulate her act, because she has actually portrayed and carried herself in such a way that she is a motivation to those persons who has been oppressed, persons who feel as though their word does not matter at all, who feel intimidated. And on this very video, we are going to be talking about 5 major lessons we should drag out of the life, style and politics of Senator Natasha, as well as 6 key lessons that we should learn from the unfolding events from the Senate angle. Okay, so if you are just coming across this channel for the first time, please do well to click the subscribe button. Ensure you subscribe so that whenever content like this are dropped, you'll be among the first person that will actually see it and then watch the video. And also ensure that you like this very video, drop your comments, ensure that you like this very video, and also drop responsible comment. So without making further ado, what are the 5 major lessons one should learn from this particular incident? The first lesson we must learn from the life of Senator Natasha is that you should stand for the truth even if you are alone. Stand for the truth. She is someone that is very brave, she is bold, she is not moved by who is on her side and who is against her. And it's a rare virtue to find, especially when it is coming from a lady. It is a very rare virtue. Most persons, they want to be human pleaser. They want to get the support of people, the better compliment, the good compliments from people. Even when they are doing the wrong thing, even when they are finding themselves in an angle where what they are doing is not in keeping with good morals. They just want to get the goodwill of the people, whether what they are doing is right or wrong. But this lady, she has been consistent with her words. That is a very rare virtue. Whether she's getting the support from other female senators or other senators in the floor of parliament, she does not mind at all. She has stood her grounds. The next one is that the voice of the people still matters. And in politics, there are 4 P's we should not play with, which are the purpose, the people, the procedure, and the performance. All of them centered around one, which is the people. So the purpose has to do with what you have in plan for the people. What are your plans for the people? Right? What are your plans in your tenure, in your government? The next one, the people. Who are you targeting them? Who are you channeling these purposes, this priority, this project for? While the next one are the procedures, the processes you are going to be using to implement your project. While the last one has to do with your performance, right? The assessment of your performance. So it is people that your purpose are targeted on. The procedure for which you are carrying out those projects must be people oriented. It should not be such that the people you are trying to work for, they are not carried along. So this lady, if you see very well, she has won the heart of the people. And as the day keeps going, she keeps winning the heart of the people. So she understands the game of the people. And democracy, from its root word, has to do with the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So she has carefully understood the essence of the people. The next one is that the media advocacy is actually a tool for justice. So she really understood the role of the media. And that's why before you could say anything, she has gone to different media houses and then state her point clear, just to ensure that the narrative is not changed. So she went way ahead of her enemy, way ahead of those that are fighting against her. It's a rare virtue. You have to outsmart your enemy. She is actually 10 times ahead of all her opponents. So, for instance, look at when they were trying to restrict her movement, when she wanted to go and see her people, when that incident was still very heated. When they put policies and bills just to ensure she doesn't travel by road to control crowd and so on. She traveled by air. That's to show you someone that is actually proactive, someone that is way ahead of her opponent. So you should not be someone that is actually waiting for the challenge to meet you, for the problem to meet you before you start looking for a solution. That is one lesson we should take very serious from her life. So she's thinking, as a leader, you should be someone that is thinking what could be the possible problem that will come up and what could be the possible solution to this problem. That is what her lifestyle is showing us. She's actually proactive. Before the problem will arise, she already have the solution. The next one is that she has built a clean reputation. Look at the people that came out to support Senator Akpabio. If you see with the turnout of events, with each of those court cases, where are they today? One will be forced to think, are they actually artificial supporters or how? Because the people that have been supporting Senator Natasha, look at all her court proceedings, court appearances. They have been there from beginning even till date. See, it is not easy to win the heart of people, especially in an economy where things are very expensive. Who has the time to even get money? Look at how things are expensive, to even get the money to pay transport and so on. But there is no appearance she will make that crowd mammoth crowd will not follow her. This love is not artificial in any way. It is actually an organic love. This is somebody that have gotten deep into the fiber of the heart of the people. That's why, even though you say they are meeting in the hole, they don't mind entering just to see that they are there for her. So as a leader, your legacy matters much more than your ego. And that's why you should fight as much as possible, to have a good reputation with the people. You should have a good reputation. That's what she's striving on. The next point is that she's actually a visionary leader, a lady that builds capacity. How? If you check, even with her suspension, she has not allowed to wear her down. She's still carrying out projects here and there. Look at the iPad she's distributing. Look at the villagers, the marketers, and so on. Because she understands the game of the people. She actually understands the game of the people. So, these are the kind of leaders we want to see. Not leaders that when it is election period, you are seeing them. You've seen them, they don't mind being ushers. They don't mind sweeping the floor for you. They don't mind sweeping the house. They don't mind eating on the road just to get the support of the people. They don't mind carrying plates around for people. But this lady, she has been there from day one, following through with her people. And tomorrow, won't be surprised she'll be voted in as the governor. Because she understands the pain of the people. She understands what her people need. Look at her bill at the floor of the Senate. There are bills that are people-oriented. She doesn't just need to wait for the people to tell her what to do. She already knows what will bring out good profit and benefit to her people, as well as carrying the people alongside. So these are beautiful virtues we should learn from these ladies. Now, turning over to the aspect of the Senate, we should know that reputation outlives position. What do we mean by essence? Leadership must be based on legacy and not ego. So, 100 years from now, most people will not remember your face, but it is the name you leave behind, the legacy you leave behind that people will remember. And that's why you should focus on building a positive legacy. The second point is that from the turnout of event, one will be forced to suspect that the females are not well represented, in the sense that if you check, they are not even coming out more openly to fully support her or not. You don't see people, others, trying to see how to fully support her. You get? Because it will make one want to suspect, is it that they can't stand? Is there any place that it looks like maybe there's any intimidation or anything? So that is another aspect where we need more of female representation. Female that are bold and brave. Female that are willing to push bills, not minding any intimidation. The next one is that you see there is need for due process to be followed. Because if due process is not followed, we'll have what we are seeing today. She has always been maintaining her stance. If I am wrong, take me to court. Take me to court. So instead of trying to suppress her, trying to intimidate her, trying to punish her, suspend her from being the chairman of this committee or the other, suspending her for 6 months, why not take due process? Because if due process was actually followed, you will not have the backlash from the public. That's another important thing we should consider from the angle of the Senate. The next one is that never weaponize. The next one is that never weaponize institution for personal vendetta. Never come to that point where you carry your position to oppress other people. You use your position to fight other people. You have personal enemies, and then you are using the might, just like the federal government stepping into this case, dropping their federal might on this case. It is highly unnecessary. It is unnecessary. So, never weaponize your own position with personal or for personal vendetta. Next is that the voice of the people still matters. If the Senate, if the government really understand that the voice of the people really matter, they would have taken due process. They would have listened that the people, what would they feel about this case? How would they feel? The last but not the least is that power must be checked by principles. So you should not just be carried away, you should not be power drunk. Try to checkmate your act with the principle that govern the organization. Try to check it. That while trying to punish, when you over punish, when your measure of punishment is so severe, at some point outsider may view it as cruelty, they may view it as intimidation. So that's why you need to check, really brainstorm before you punish your subordinate, so that you will not over measure, you will not overreach your punishment. So I believe that we have a lot of things to learn out of this very incident. At this point, so that we don't talk so much, I would also encourage us. I don't know what your opinion may be. I don't know what your own view will be about the whole issue. Let me know in the comment box. Drop your points, drop your suggestion, drop your opinion in the comment box. And if you're just coming across this channel for the first time, please do not forget to subscribe and also like this very video. Drop your comment respectfully and drop meaningful comment. I look forward to that moment where this particular channel becomes your most favorite click. But for now, stay safe and ensure you check the rest of the video for more perspective. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Prayer 1.
Yes.
That the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer 1 say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. I put the question. Those in support of prayer 1 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. How do you amend a prayer that is unanimous? Prayer 2, that for the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenure of the suspension, Senator Natasha Akpoti shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration by the Nigerian Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. I don't think Senator Baribe, as a landlord of the Senate, I don't think they heard what I read. So let me just repeat for clarity that for the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenure of the suspension, Senator Natasha Akpoti shall submit a written apology to the Senate before the reconsideration by the Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. Okay, because I thought I heard 50-50. Let me make it 40-60. That for the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenure of suspension, Senator Natasha Akpoti shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration of this case by the Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 3,
Liberalism.
prayer 3, that the Senate do suspend Senator Akpoti with effect from 6th day of March 2025 from all legislative activities forward. Those in support of prayer 3 say aye.
I call my suspension illegal and unjust, and I hope that the courts will do justice. It's unfortunate that Justice Egwato recused himself on the 25th of March 2025. He did mention that he was recused because of the petitions that the Senate President wrote against him. But then I also got to know, like I said, allegedly, that he was also threatened, because that's what usually happens. And I respect his decision, but I pray that the next judge, who is Justice Binta Nyako, actually will be strong enough to stand against any threats, because at the end of the day, if the bad people keep winning, that means the entire country will suffer and our democracy suffers. So we need courageous people to strengthen the institutions, who are supposed to be independent anyways. I look forward to getting back to the Senate so that I could resume my functions as a senator duly elected by my people. But if by chance I am not recalled on time, I will still continue carrying out my activities. Tomorrow we're going to commence the reconstruction of 3 primary healthcare centers in Kogi Central, and we have a lot of other activities on. We also have some empowerment programs that will be coming up this week here. It doesn't stop me from doing my work, even if it means I have to work extra hard, since I'm out of office temporarily, to make my people feel the good impact of democracy. But I pray that Nigerians across, even beyond Kogi Central, will be able to continuously lend their voices, because an injustice to me is an injustice to everyone. We all see what is happening to Governor Fubara himself, whereby he's suspended for 6 months as well, against the Constitution. I did mention that the Nigerian Constitution does not allow the suspension of elected officers. So again, I thank Nigerians, I thank Nigerian women for their support, for their understanding. Yesterday, when I received the award for the voice of good governance, the chair in the hall, when I was called, just reaffirmed that many people are with me. Many women across Nigeria are with me in this fight for justice on the sexual harassment part, because many women are actually facing this ill, but they cannot just speak up. And most of these men, some of the men actually who criticize me, I will tell them, well, they should go home, call their wives, call their daughters, and ask them. They will be surprised what their wives and daughters will tell them that goes on in workplaces or in the learning institutions. So generally, I want to appreciate Nigerians. I want to appreciate the international community, the many international organizations that have lent voices and wrote statements. I want to appreciate Auntie-Obi Ezekwesili, Kadraya Ahmed, and many others who have, irrespective of their regions or their states, found a purpose in what I'm doing, and have stood by me through thick and thin. And again, I'm going to call on INEC, and I'm going to call on the police and the DSS. Hey, these are institutions that are meant to safeguard and strengthen Nigeria's ecosystem with regards to the good governance. So it's about time that they find courage to desist from being manipulated by the powerful people, especially those who have so much to throw around. It's about time they resist this temptation so that they'll be able to serve ordinary citizens. If I myself, being a senator, can be subjected to so much attacks in just the span of 1 month, you can imagine what an ordinary citizen who wants to challenge the illegalities around will face. Do you understand? If I myself, with the support I'm having, with my family support and all that, and my party, I'm still able to face this much attack, imagine what it will happen to an ordinary person. So I think I'll just tell INEC, hey, they should just do what is right. The INEC chairman should not be afraid. He's going to retire soon. This is pretty much his last term. This is the time for him to redeem his image, especially with regards to the conduct of the past elections, as regards to especially what was captured in the several electoral observers reports. The INEC chairman should do right by this recall. I know it's fraudulent. The signatures were collected. The few signatures amongst the lot were collected by fraud, deceit, and many were just manipulated. So it will be really gruesome to know that such illegality will succeed at this day and age. I have nothing been other than a good citizen, a law-abiding citizen, and I don't think I should suffer just because I decide to dare the corrupt institutions. Because what they're doing to me is trying to break me down. All of what has happened is just a plot to break me down, make me apologize, and make me fall in line and behave like every other senator or every other politician. But I have always said, I got into politics not to behave like a typical politician, but to try to reform the political space so that it can be safer and more effective, you understand, for Nigerians. So that's